How many Arizona State players are in the ESPN Top 100 going into the season? And are there any surprises as to where they're ranked? It's Eric Ruby, Anthony Totri, PHNX Sun Devils, breaking it down on another trending edition of the show, which means you got to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're rating 5 stars if you're listening on audio as well. As we approach the football season, Anthony Totri, we're almost there for post-game shows, breaking it down during the week. We're on that last stretch of the preseason.
I can't wait, man. I mean, at this point, the week 0 games have already concluded, so I'm sure that's been a ton of fun. I know I'm amped for it, but realistically, with this point of conversation, everybody's looking forward to that 2025 start of the Arizona State season, the number 11 team in the country, and then ESPN's Top 100 kind of reflects Arizona State being a top 15 team.
So let's just talk about how many players from Arizona State are in the top 100 before we go into where they are and who they are. 3. If I asked you before you knew, because I know you knew before we talked about this, if I asked you how many players Arizona State should have in the top 100 player rankings in the country, do you think 3 is an appropriate number?
I think it's an appropriate answer. I think the right answer is 4, but I do think the 3 players that are the most notable on this team got some love, right? You've got the Sam Levitts, the Jordyn Tysons, the Xavier Alford. I think the one player that should be on this list that isn't is CJ Fight, the defensive tackle for Arizona State. But again, this is a preseason list. I'd be pretty surprised if there's only 3 Arizona State Sun Devils on the postseason top 100 players.
Well, and we know that the Arizona State Sun Devils don't really care about preseason lists. So you mentioned the 3 names, Xavier Alford, Jordyn Tyson, Sam Leavitt. Let's go down in order. 86th overall in the top 100. It is X at 28th. Big jump. Jordyn Tyson coming in 2nd. And then in 1st for Arizona State, just about 7 spots higher, Sam Leavitt at 21. Where do you want to start? What grabbed your attention the most from where those 3 are ranked in the top 100?
I think if we're talking about immediately, the thing that jumps out the most is that Sam Leavitt is the highest rated player, not Jordyn Tyson, despite Jordyn Tyson being the, not betting favorite, but kind of a consensus first round pick, where it feels like Sam Leavitt does have to put together a big season just because there is such a limited amount of film on him as it stands right now. So for him to already be at 21, Tyson to be at 28, I think that speaks volumes about where people think he can perform this season. But I think at the end of the day, if it was me making this list, I think Jordyn Tyson would probably be the number 1 Sun Devil on this list.
Do you feel like those are appropriate rankings in the top 100 for the 2 of them?
I think so, especially when you look at the rest of this list. Leavitt and Tyson are the 2nd and 3rd highest Big 12 players on this list. The highest player is Spencer Fano, an offensive lineman at Utah who cracks the top 10. So I would say ultimately, like, if you were evaluating this based off of the conference, then I think Sam Leavitt and Jordyn Tyson certainly are worthy of their rankings. You look at positionally in terms of like the wide receivers ahead of Jordyn Tyson, it's just Ryan Williams at 12 and then Jeremiah Smith at number 1, the number 1 player in college football. You look at some of the quarterbacks above Sam Leavitt. You've got Clemson's Cade Klubnik coming in at 4, LSU's Garrett Nussmeier at 8. Outside of that, you do have Sam Leavitt at 21. You do have John Mateer at 16 and Drew Aller at 17.
And Lenora Sellers at 19.
At 19.
They're saying he is like the 5th.
About the 5th, 6th best quarterback going into the season for college football.
Would you take Sam Leavitt over John Mateer?
I would take Sam Leavitt over John Mateer.
Would you take Sam Leavitt over Drew Aller?
I would take him over Drew Aller. I'd take him over Garrett Nussmeier.
Would you take him over Lenora Sellers?
I would probably leave it at Lenoris right there.
So you think that Lenoris and Sam are like the 3rd and 4th?
I think in terms of what they can accomplish this year, absolutely. I think athletically, Lenora Sellers obviously is just a ridiculous athlete, quarterback, South Carolina. So I think that gives him a little bit of an edge. But when it comes to arm talent, I think Sam Leavitt clears him on that. That's why I kind of have them as a very similar ranking.
Okay. Let's talk about X then.
Let's talk about X.
I really love that Xavier Alford is getting some love in this top 100, because it does feel like kind of the lazy analysis for Arizona State is, okay, it's Sam Leavitt and it's Jordyn Tyson.
Yeah.
Right. And as much as we would like CJ Fight to be included in this, I think if you had to pick one player from the defense, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think you have to pick.
Yeah, it would
Xavion
be
Alford.
It would be Xavier Alford.
Do you feel like 86 is fair? Not that it's like, okay, we're happy he got the recognition. Do you think he's better than that going into right now? And what do you think at the end of the season that number next to his name could be if everything goes right for him?
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the 86. I think, again, just him getting some national recognition is huge, especially because going into last season, Xavier Alford wasn't a household name, right? But I think now, especially in the Valley, Xavier Alford is a household name. And if it's not in your house right now, it will be, because 100-yard landlord is 100% coming
He's your
to collect
landlord. He's in
this
your house.
season. At 86, there are several DBs above him, both at safety, at corner. I'm sure he's not thrilled with that, but this is a guy that I think, again, you look back to what he accomplished last year, just allowed 9 receptions in coverage while playing over 500 snaps. That is pretty ridiculous. He's a consistent player. He's a force on this defense, and he's really a vocal leader on the back end of this Arizona State secondary. I would not be surprised whatsoever if he cracked the top 50 once the 2025 season is wrapped up.
Let's look at the other DBs that are on the list, just as the same that we did with wide receiver and with quarterbacks at 94, so similar but lower than X. It's Isaiah Nokobia from SMU. Then, of course, at 86 is Xavier Alford. The next DB doesn't come until 42 with Coy Parrish out of Minnesota, a sophomore defensive back. 42 seems a little high. But obviously they're very high on him.
It is interesting how they list. So they list X as a DB. There are other DBs that are closer to X. There's a safety, Zakee Wheatley at 85.
I guess just purely ranked as a DB.
It's weird how they do this, because there's some DBs, there's some corners, there's some safeties. Like, I don't know if they have him at DB simply because he plays in coverage while also playing safety.
Yeah, that is weird,
because there are a lot of true corners or a lot of true safeties, but they have him listed as a defensive back. So that makes me feel like ESPN hasn't watched a ton of Xavier Alford.
Damn, we know he's good here.
He should be listed as a safety.
Yeah.
In all honesty. So
I thought they were just putting everybody down as a DB.
That's when you said that, I was like, yeah. And
that was just one blanket thing.
D'Angelo Pons, he's a corner. He's at 82. There are several defensive backs listed above Xavier Alford. And I'm going to be honest, and maybe it's just I haven't watched enough of some of these other DBs. Mm-hmm. But I think probably the most comparable for ASU fans when they hear it, and this is a very polarizing figure for ASU fans, is Michael Taft, the safety at Texas. Of course, with the whole targeting situation last year, trying to trip Malik McClain in the end zone at a certain point. He is 64 on this list, so about 22 spots above Xavier Alford. He's a senior at Texas going into this season. I would rather have Xavier Alford than Michael Taft, but maybe that is just me. He's a former walk-on, reigning second-team All-American. So he's a hell of a ball player, but I think Xavier Alford is better.
All right, last question for you here. We got Xavier Alford at 86, Jordyn Tyson at 28, Sam Leavitt at 21.
Yeah.
Who has the best chance to make that number lower by the end of the season?
It's Sam Leavitt. It's always going to be the quarterback.
You don't think it's Jordyn Tyson?
I don't think so. I think, again, the quarterbacks are in a realm all of their own here. I think, again, we talk about Sam Leavitt in the Heisman conversation more than we do Jordyn Tyson. If Sam Leavitt does find himself in that Heisman conversation by the end of the season, we're talking about a top 5, potentially top 3 player in college football, especially when you look at this year's college football, where there's a wide receiver listed as the best player in the game right now. So for a wideout to be listed 1-1 here, I think that certainly leaves a lot of room for Sam Leavitt to jump up this list. You'll notice how when we were talking about the quarterbacks, there's no Arch Manning ahead of Sam Leavitt on this list. Is
he on the list?
I believe he is in the top 100, but I don't think. Yeah, he's at 23, so he's the quarterback right behind Sam Leavitt at 21 here. I would say that there is certainly an opportunity for a quarterback to be 1-1 on this list when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to watch. I think that Jordyn Tyson, just because he's already a little bit lower than Sam Leavitt, obviously if either one of them is bumping their number up, it's probably in conjunction with one of them, and which is maybe why the argument is for X, who is the lowest rated on this on this list, and we think does have the chance to move up the most spots, clearly, because we have them that possibly moving up 30 to 35 plus spots, getting into that top 50 range. But what do you think? Do you think ASU deserved more players on ESPN's top 100? How many do you think are on the list at the end of this season, and who are you keeping your eyes on to have the biggest jump? Is it Sam Leavitt, Jordyn, Tyson, or Xavier Alford? Let us know down in the comments below, or if you're listening on audio, just scream it out into the ether. Anthony Totri will hear you. Also, keep running.
Yeah, don't stop running.
Don't stop running if you are running or doing sit-ups or lifting or whatever you're doing. But just make sure that when you're done with that, you do rate us 5 stars wherever you get your audio. It goes a long way in helping grow the program. And our program is very excited for Arizona State to get back on the field. And there's no better place to get your coverage than right here on PHNX Sports. We're talking live shows during the week, breaking down the game, getting ready for the next game, giving you all the updates from the Big 12, and of course, post-game shows every single game, even when they get into, fingers crossed, that postseason action, all right here on PHNX Sports, just like we've been bringing you for the last couple of years. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you all very soon.